Hey guys, it's TEW Maxwell here. Welcome to the first video of 2018 regarding TEW. I've finally managed to find the time to get Money in the Bank. First of all, booked and now recorded. It's just been a wee break, kind of playing a lot of Football Manager and working away. So the time for TEW has not been there. I did have a few, really just, but well, I wouldn't say discussions, I'd say just thoughts to myself if I was going to keep going with this particular series. I was going to still play it, just obviously the updates wouldn't be as frequent as they are, or if I was maybe going to try a new save. But I think for now I'll persist. I say it's not a case of not enjoying the save, it is just a case of meeting the timescales that I would want each video to go live for each pay-per-view. I don't want to be forcing myself to play it. It's never healthy when you're doing that with a game. Talking health, I don't particularly feel great, but the show must go on. I just feel so, well, to be quite frankly, shit, to be honest. I just feel so lacking energy right now, but soldier on. Let's get this show booked and let's see how it is going to go down. This is Money in the Bank 2020, so a big occasion. 2 Money in the Bank matches, male and female, a couple of tag team championship matches, 2 world title matches, and a match with big consequences. We're going to have 2 main guys from Raw, 2 main guys from SmackDown battling in a fatal 4-way. The winner gets a title shot at the next pay-per-view, obviously the one before SummerSlam, of course, coming in August. So yeah, 23 segments, 295 minutes of a show, 44 minutes on the pre-show as well with 4 matches, or 3 matches I should say. So let's jump in it, see how it goes down. So glad to say we got an attendance of 48,424 at Lansdowne Road. Just decided to book it in the UK and Ireland, just on the basis there was still more attendance figures here than in the States, so really a financial decision. First match was decent, and it saw Austin Aries defend the Cruiserweight Championship against Rick Swann, Shane Strickland, Drew Gulak, Rocky Romero, and Sami Callihan. And it was in 14 minutes and 18 seconds when Austin Aries defeated Sami Callihan by submission with the last Chancery, making his second defence of the Cruiserweight title. An okay B-73, it could have been a lot better, but considering that Strickland and Aries, the 2 main guys in the match, were off their game, limiting their performances a little bit. Rocky Romero, a good showing as well, maybe not so much for the likes of Sami Callihan and Rich Swann, but overall, pretty decent there. Double A with some skill improvements. Just a pretty good start to the show. Next up, pre-show matchup, we had decent wrestling, didn't have a lot of heat, and it saw Aiden English defeat Apollo Crews in 9:47 with the director's cut after interference from his manager, Raquel Diaz. C-58 here. Apollo wasn't happy at doing the job, but I'm on a solo project here to promote Aiden English as a single superstar. We'll have his obviously his wife, Raquel Diaz, or Shell Guerrero, as his manager, and hopefully, as I say, we can give him a good singles push going forward. Apollo Crews, I don't know, I gave him a run. I was just never really taken to him in this save, or if I'm being honest, in reality, in real life. So yeah, he's just going to be phased down the card. And as you can see by the road agent notes there, he was kept strong, tainted finish, but he was still unhappy. Next up, decent pre-show match. Jason Jordan defeats Dolph Ziggler in 11:17 by pinfall. B-77. Simple matchup. We also know these 2 have broken up as a tag team. It's a big pay-per-view, so if it was a Raw pay-per-view, it would have made the main show, but because it wasn't, this was the reason why Jason Jordan wins and why it was on the pre-show. Jason Jordan improves flying skills. Actually, no negatives there, but just really starting to propel Jason Jordan. There was a plan to put him in the Money in the Bank match, but with the stars we put in it, none of them were quite happy to put him over, so he was actually one of the main choices to win it, but in reality, just made sense to take him out. His time, though, will come in the future. So we start the show. Now, you get your usual hype packages and all that. I just left that one out. And I've made a colossal arse of it here, it seems, but it's still got a good rating. There's a superb matchup, and Rusev defeated Kota Ibushi and The Miz in 16:47 when Rusev defeated Kota Ibushi by submission, making his second defence of his European title. In A90, show got off to a strong start and it got the crowd hotter. I think I've accidentally made this a 2-title match, putting in the Cruiserweight title as well, or the Cruiserweight Classic title, so I must have slipped there when hovering through, but thankfully neither of the competitors were eligible for it, so it wouldn't have counted. But Rusev remains the European champion, An 82 performance hopefully will give him a boost of performance and overness, defeating both The Miz and Ibushi, and we can celebrate Rusev Day with Rusev being still the European champion. And after the matchup, we just get a promo from Rusev just declaring it a happy Rusev Day by B plus 87. Also, just a little note here, it is really interesting that the European Championship is getting so over, and I've done absolutely nothing with Marty Scurll as the US champion to this extent that he's not even on this show. I just really need to try and find a program for him, because it's not just devaluating him, but also the title as well, and it makes it look like the European Championship is our second belt on Raw. Next up, the Revival are hyping a promo with their opponents, the Exiles. A B plus 83. Obviously, we saw the last time Switchblade Jay White was kind of just appearing and just staring down the Revival. So we are able to reveal his tag partner, which we will do next in this Tag Team Championship match. The matchup was decent, and the Exiles did defeat the Revival in 12:03 when Dash Wilder was counted out while fighting Jay White. The reason being, obviously, we don't want to move the tag titles just yet. And as you can see there, it was CJ Robinson, we've called him. Obviously, the former CJ Parker or just Robinson. Just felt like it's someone else who was kind of outcasted from the WWE, so they've been exiled from everything else. So the Exiles have been those two. But a good matchup. Scott Dawson, again with the lowest for the Revival in terms of performance. I do think he's capped, but he'll always continue to improve technical and performance skills. So overall, a good matchup there. I'm really looking forward to see what the future has for these two. Let's see what's next. It would be promo from the Usos, cutting a promo how they want their tag team championships back. You know, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens came back together and, you know, just really showed that, you know, tag division needed a bit more star power. That was the case as well. The Usos were just like, you know, taking out everybody. They were beating down Sami. We all know KO came back, made the save after moving from Raw. And now, you know, this feud's just getting heated and heated. There's been exchange of victories. Jey Uso's picked up a good couple of big wins. It's really looking good for a big push in the future as solo stars maybe for the Usos one day. So A92 was a good promo. Match itself, holy shit, I did not expect that, but that is a promising sign. About that had superb wrestling and good heat from the audience. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens defeat the Usos in 1952 when Sami defeated Jimmy with the Brainbuster. They make the first defence of the tag titles in A-Star 97. So this could easily carry the SmackDown Live pay-per-views, which already has like Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose on it, so that's good there. Good performances in the 90s for KO and Sami, and 94 for Jey Uso. The storyline gains heat, but great matchup for these two. I think we're going to go with a third one. I might try and stall that out to WrestleMania, to SummerSlam, because that's just simply outstanding. Next up, they're back! Mojo Bojo are back together. After the beatdown continually from Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman on Mojo, Bo Dallas did make the save. However, both of these guys and Bray and Braun will all be competing in the Money in the Bank ladder match to see who becomes the next Money in the Bank. Also entering that match, big rivals Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. So a C plus 69, we do need to try and build them up. So let's see how the Money in the Bank match goes. Overall, it was a decent matchup. Bo Dallas wins the match, defeating Mojo, Braun, Bray, Gargano and Ciampa in 1853 when Bo Dallas pinned his partner. We'll just say pinned it. I don't like doing ladder matches because it just fucks the rating. But we'll just pretend he got the briefcase. So Bo Dallas is your Money in the Bank winner. Obviously, there's a lot of people wanted Mojo Bojo back. Also, a few people, and it was Brian as well, said they wanted a Bo Dallas Money in the Bank win. Why don't we just have both? So Mojo Bojo will be back. We'll have a little feud with Bray and Braun, but at the same time, Bo Dallas is also your Money in the Bank winner. A solid P plus 84 there. I actually did want to give it to Mojo Rawley first off, but yeah, a lot of people were pissed at Job, and so I thought, yeah, we'll just give it to Bo Dallas. So good long-term plan there, and hopefully good things are coming. Next up, it was the SmackDown Women's Championship on the line. And it was about that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. The Battle of Britain saw Nikki Cross defeat Paige in 1502 using underhanded tactics, Nikki Cross making the second defence of the SmackDown Women's title. Good performances from both. Getting a B plus 86 is very good to see. Usual feud, you know, Nikki's been on a tear since defeating Charlotte. Paige just said, "This is my house now." Really just try to elevate women to Charlotte's level effectively. And we're hoping, you know, Nikki getting the win over her can then be passed on to Paige eventually. But keeping Nikki looking strong and a good matchup nonetheless. Next up, Becky Lynch is cutting a promo. She said it's been too long since she had gold, and she says she's going to win the Women's Money in the Bank match to make sure that she is going to be a future Women's Champion. And to be fair, a B plus 85 promo is not too shabby, because Becky's been kind of overlooked because of injuries she's had. And the matchup for the Women's Money in the Bank wasn't great. It was a decent matchup, and it saw Becky Lynch take the win, defeating the talented Rhea Ripley, Bayley, Dana Brooke, Liv Morgan, and Sasha Banks in 13:32 when Becky got the win over Sasha. She wins the Women's Money in the Bank. Dana Brooke, of course, will be head and shoulders above everyone else. Now, the rating will be poor because we have to obviously super protect Dana Brooke, but I felt like Dana doesn't need the women's title. She's obviously one of the most over females we've got. I think anyone get a win over her certainly elevates them. But again, because of had to protect her so much, it was going to hamper the rating. I did actually want to put it on Rhea Ripley and just basically put a rocket with her and just, you know, push her forward very, very quickly. But Sasha was unhappy, Becky was unhappy. Liv would have been unhappy as well, and Dana Brooks. I just felt, you know, not her time yet, but good exposure for her. And Becky gets the win, so we can push her, gets another woman to the top level, and then we can phase the likes of a Rhea Ripley and a Liv Morgan going forward. So pretty good matchup there, and good things hopefully in the future for Becky Lynch. And as you can see from the Road Agents notes, Dana Brooke kept strong. Next up, promo from Charlotte. She's fed up, she's tired of Asuka's cheap shots. She's going to just show that she is the most dominant woman on Raw. She's fed up that she's been cost, you know, the SmackDown's championship, and she's not going to lose Raw's version. And it was a great matchup with a decent reaction from the crowd. Charlotte defeats Asuka in 23:53 by pinfall. She makes the 5th defense of the Women's Championship. A women's matchup that actually has gotten an A rating, so absolutely fantastic. We've gotten that aim, so it's great. There's been no penalties for psychology, so fantastic. The worry is this injury to Charlotte, a cracked sternum, that could rule out a massive match at SummerSlam. So we'll see how that happens. But a 94 for Charlotte, a 73 for Asuka. Storyline continues, and just a great performance from both ladies. The good thing is, as I say, there's an open matchup to give Asuka a good bit of overness. I'm hoping, yeah, that's just a stepping stone for the women to keep improving the way they are. Next up, promo from Seth Rollins. Obviously here the feud with Neville, just really documenting the fatal 4-way match that they're going to get into, so just jump straight into that. And it was superb wrestling and great heat. It was Seth that picked up the win as he defeated Randy, Neville and Daniel Bryan in 21:31 when Seth defeated Neville with a Phoenix Splash. Daniel Bryan's getting good at his gimmick. Another injury. Daniel Bryan sustaining a posterior cruciate ligament sprain, so thankfully it's a sprain, not a break. So that might rule him out for a little bit in terms of main matches, because he'll obviously have a knock. And I don't want to hamper his performance and make it worse, so he might get a little bit of rest. Hopefully we'll be back fit for SummerSlam. 2 storylines increase, an A89. Yeah, overall, happy with that. Next up, Big E creates a promo. He's facing Dean Ambrose for the World Heavyweight Championship. Obviously the New Day faced him the last time. But I just feel like, you know, let's give Big E the opportunity. Yeah, he had a couple of wins on SmackDown, but building up to this, and he deserves this opportunity. Obviously a former main eventer, not a champion. B82, pretty poor promo. The matchup itself was absolutely fantastic. In a superb matchup, Dean Ambrose defeats Big E in 1944 with Dirty Deeds following botched interference from Kofi Kingston. Interesting there. Ambrose makes the 6th defense of his World Heavyweight title. ASRA 95, fantastic. Big E and Dean Ambrose done well. Increases the storyline. Now, interesting what will come forward now with this interference from Kofi. And it leads to a stare down post match between Kofi and Big E. Could we be teasing for another breakup of the New Day? Remains to be seen, but overall, BAT's okay there in terms of the level of overness. Promo from AJ Styles, disappointingly just a B plus 85. AJ's promos were carrying him because his body's pretty much done at this rate in game because of the declining physical ability. But, he's just really stating, Roman Reigns is saying he's the big dog, he's the guy that claims to be the place, the guy that runs the place. It's the house that AJ Styles built, and he's going to take the Intercontinental Championship. Match itself was fantastic heat, great wrestling, but unfortunately just a B plus 86, and it saw Roman defeat AJ in 1950, making the third defence of the IC title. Really wish that was a bit better, so that's why I did place it as high on the card. But it does seem like the stamina and declining physical ability really hampered AJ. Roman continues on this tear as the IC champion. And we're leading up to our main event for the Universal Championship. Aleister Black says it's a disgrace that it was the reveal of Devitt and the Bullet Club, or the BC, whatever we're calling them in this, that took out John Cena after his record-breaking 17th world title reign. But he's going to take out the club one by one, and he's going to start by taking out the Universal Champion and taking his title from him. So A91 promo. And the match itself was exceptional, but Devitt does defeat Aleister Black in 23:03 by pinfall, following a double knee gutbuster and interference from his bodyguard Brodus. And he makes the second defence of his Universal title. So an A-star 96 matchup. Two great performances here. Black will get a world title at one point, but for the purposes of a storyline, it remains on Virgil Devitt. And after the match, he just laughs at John Cena and just says, "John, I'm here taking I'm getting all the spotlight. All the attention is on me. You're sitting at home doing nothing. As an irrelevant world champion, I'm the true world champion." And he finishes that with an A91 promo. Show itself, absolutely spectacular. That's great to see. We do have that many over guys, and as I say, some surprise good wrestlers in terms of the Usos are getting great levels of matches that, well, you expect them to do good. You don't expect any whatever matchup with them. So good on them. They'll both be praised. In the post-match rating, A-star 95 is a great show, considering, as I say, I've obviously been kind of inconsistent with my booking. Never really had a run of momentum into the show, but overall, pleasing things ahead. And I think we'll give Sami Zayn props, because obviously a good matchup for there. So Jimmy was pleased, Jay was pleased, Sami pleased as well. So a bit of news while we're waiting for this to load, and I can confirm we have re-signed Jack Swagger. Reason being, felt like he's went away, so it might just make him, a proper badass, like he's come back from MMA, even though he was in Japan, and he's just going to just snap and just go on a proper tear through people. Basically, Brock Lesnar, but Jack Swagger. That makes sense. So looking forward to at least trying that to see how we can get him over. And let's see the bad news now of injuries. So Daniel Bryan's hurt badly. Moment of truth time. It's only a month, that's good. So he'll miss the next pay-per-view for Raw, but that gives us a good opportunity to book something for SummerSlam and give somebody another opportunity. That could have been a lot worse. Charlotte, she's going to have to take some time off. 14 days. So she's had a few injuries. That's quite worrying over the last year. Thankfully, 14 days. She'll be fine. The next SmackDown pay-per-view. I don't think there's any there. I don't think we need Manu anytime soon. Overall, complete success. Importance has now went up to above average. That's good to see. Buy rate pretty high at 4.35, so that's good. That'll get us a good bit of money. Rhea Ripley talks well, so Paige likes her. Roman Reigns doesn't like Jason Jordan. But overall, a very pleasing pay-per-view. A couple of people unhappy again, which is worrying, because all the other people that are unhappy are basically put on holiday. I've just said to them, just go take a break. A couple of people on vacation, the likes of Manny Andrade, Leo Rush, Crazy Mary Dobson. People I wasn't using, so we'll see there. A couple of injuries as well. Maybe need to phase some more people out. But as I say, my roster I know was far too big, so it's up to me to trim that down. As I say, they'll continue to be cuts going forward. Red Titus will go. next looking at that, I think I may get rid of Brodus at one point. Maybe Tracy Williams. I do want to persist with some PowerPoint presentations, and Drew Gulak. I would release AJ Lee as well. Christopher Gerrard will probably go. Doug Williams is a short term. He's effectively being the Kurt Hawkins role, but just being an experienced person to put people over and have good matches. Yeah, so we'll probably see a lot of people. Nia Jackson might release just because I say she'll be 36, 37 in this game. Might get rid of Camacho. Just these kind of people. But as I say, we'll see as time goes on. But pleasing to say, it's a little break, 3 weeks from right insane until Battleground, which is a Raw pay-per-view, so 3 weeks to get that card together, and then the Bash after that, and a 5-week break before then we have the dual pay-per-views of SummerSlam and Night of Champions. I'm going to ask a question as well here. So it gives me maybe a bit of time between the individual pay-per-views, so obviously I'll get a bit of time between Battleground and the Bash. It's one pay-per-view a week, so there's time to book that. Would them be interested in seeing obviously it's been doing, well, next week it's getting done by WWE, my version of a Mixed Match Challenge. Would you like to see one show or a couple of shows dedicated to that? I could run just individual events. If you want to see that, let me know in the comments section below. I might put a straw poll up actually. In fact, yeah, we'll put a straw poll in the description. And what I'd actually like to hear from you guys is if you've got any pairings you can see from our roster. Doesn't need to be the same as obviously WWE's done it. People for Raw matching together, people for SmackDown. Any combination of male and female athletes on my roster. If you've got any suggestions, let me know. And yeah, we'll put a couple together that you guys suggest. But as I say, guys, thank you very much for watching. Thanks for your patience and obviously delay the video. And as I say, hopefully, as I say, get my energy back and get these videos getting put out more often. Might see a second series. If time permits, there will be a second series. If not, it is what it is. If there will be a second series, it will be a case of I'll probably fight. I actually want a good backlog recorded, and I know that I can get into it before any go live. So we'll keep an eye on that. There is an idea of what I want to do. But again, it's just time constraints regarding that. Obviously, it's all good and well having, making promises and wanting to do certain things, but time and work is a big factor. But as I say, we'll hopefully see a lot more TW stuff. I'm trying to phase in some Football Manager stuff. It is mostly going to be scout reports, but every so often I'll update on NEC save. As I say, I'm just having a lot of fun playing that offline. Probably too much fun, which is not really giving me much time for else, but it's fun doing the likes of that, doing VFL coming back as well, and of course the F1 League, which is so fucking fun. It's good. It really is. It's damage limitation, but it's a great laugh. But as always, guys, any comments on the series? Let me know what you think. People you want to see getting pushed going forward. Am I listening? With the Bo Dallas thing. As I say, I can try and get some people over. As I say, we'll see stuff with the Velveteen Dream and a few others going forward. So any names you want to see, we'll try and pop them up. If I don't sign them here, I might end up signing them in the other save if it does go live. So keep an eye out for that. But any shares, likes, all that jazz are deeply appreciated. Let us know how your own saves are going. As I say, it's weird with TW because it is a really niche market, and at the same time, the game's been out nearly 2 years now, which is remarkable, and this save's been going for nearly 2 years. So just let us know how your own saves are going. Do you still feel as into it as you did when it first came out? And yeah, let me know if you bought any of the Grey Dog software games when they had their sale on over the Christmas period. But cheers for watching, guys. I'll see you next time for some more TW, and we'll see you on the Battleground. Bye-bye.